What motivates you by Rianetta Stokes. So my research question is, has state and government programs contributed to the stigmatization of mental illness? The significance of my study is that, we all know that there's a stigma attached to mental health and mental illness, where some people who are actually experiencing mental illness will not go and seek treatment because they don't want to seem crazy. And on the other hand, we have people who don't have a true diagnosis of mental illness, but they exaggerate their symptoms so that they can qualify for state and government benefits. The purpose of my study, I want to determine the level of motivation that pushes people to either avoid seeking treatment or who over exaggerate their symptoms to receive these benefits. An important question I would like to look into is, how has physicians contributed to the stigmatization of mental illness? Um, with with the with mental illness, it's easy to walk in and say, I feel sad, I feel depressed. Those are self-reported diagnoses that physicians depend on to push an agenda to make it appear as though the treatment they're providing to mental health patients are actually working. So my guess is that this has strongly contributed to the misdiagnosis of mental illness and also the phenomenon of people going in there and faking or over exaggerating their symptoms because they know that if they say that they're feeling these ways and they're experiencing these symptoms, they will qualify for the benefits. So what is the starting ground for the misdiagnosis of mental illness? Again, physicians are allowed to miscode certain illnesses to put off the idea that their treatment plans are working for these mental health patients. So therefore, there is a strong possibility that combined with people who are faking their symptoms is a big motivator and a big problem in society when it comes to the misdiagnosis of mental illness, as it provides benefits for both the physicians and the patients. So there was an article published in a Sage Journal that stated that people use their mental illness as a way to combat inequality because the monies offered by these programs sometimes are enough for a person to live off of. And in turn, these programs are seen as enablers by many people. So my sampling approach is to look at people who are coming in to apply for disability or Social Security benefits because of a reported mental illness that they say that they have, and they have been denied. So I want to approach the people who have already tried receiving disability benefits and see if I can get a better look at why they were denied, and my desired sample, or like I said again, are the applicants who have been denied but are coming back to reapply. I would like to know under what premises they were denied and what's bringing them back to reapply. Like, what has changed from the time you first applied and were denied to now that you feel may qualify you for benefits after the fact. So my research message I plan to use cross-sectional design with using unobtrusive data collections. And the instrument that I'll be using is a survey attached to the end of the new application, which I would have already proposed and had approved. Since the investigation that I'm going to be conducting is, dictated, is geared around isolated events, such as being denied for unemployment, I will only be talking or surveying people one time and one time only. So there is no need for follow-up questions. Again, I'm going to use unobtrusive data collection. Although part of my study is experimental when it comes to the application, the main part of the study is non-experimental, where I will not have contact with the participants, and the participants will be asked to drop their survey, the completed survey, off in a Dropbox. Again, I plan to attach a survey at the end of this application, which can be completed. It's an optional survey, which could be completed anonymously. The limitations to my research is that, for instance, for the experimental aspect of the study, since I am not a licensed therapist or someone of that nature, I will not be able to observe the participants as they're filling out the survey, which the application that's attached to the survey is a new application I propose that will have elements to the application that will invoke certain emotions from the applicant that can be observed by someone looking through a window. My sample size may be low because the people appearing in person to apply for benefits will probably be a small amount of people, especially right now because of COVID-19. People can apply for the benefits online, but for the purpose of this study, I would prefer that people appear in person to use the application. And with that, the validity of the self-reported data is in question because, again, people over-exaggerate their symptoms when they know that it could benefit them to over-exaggerate.